my real life. So my personality is not a secret cell agent who's going to go hunt for information and killing and, fighting with people. So it's a lot of fun. And, again, being able to shoot a show like this has been just a dream.
Mm-hmm. So, Vikram sir is known for creating suspenseful shows. There's murder, there's mystery. So as an actor, were there challenges in getting hold of this narrative and putting yourself out that way?
I think when you have a story that's so well written, you're able to understand things more. And like I said, he put so much care into every shot, every scene, how we're going to shoot it, even just the dialogues and just all these small little things he took care of, and he was there every second making sure that we all looked great and we were all doing what we needed to.
Mm-hmm. So what was the kind of preparation you had taken to breathe life inside an avatar?
The preparation, most of my preparation actually happened in Los Angeles because of lockdown. Okay. I signed this project before lockdown started, right before it started. And because of lockdown, we weren't able to shoot sooner. Mm-hmm. And all the dialogue, all the episodes, all the rehearsing of that went on in Los Angeles. And then I did, to brush up on kickboxing, like my punches and kicks and everything, to make sure my form was correct. Because the worst thing that can happen is you hyperextend and all of a sudden you're hurt and you can't shoot anymore. So all those things are really important to make sure that my body was in a condition that could handle doing some of these things.
Mm-hmm. So, Sunny, now how does being a mother change you as a creative person and as an artist? What changes have you found in yourself that way?
I don't think that being a mother has anything to do with, changes, like dramatic changes. Mm-hmm. If anything, for some reason, the last few years, some of the projects that have come my way have been, like Anamika, and then a few others that mm-hmm. are amazing projects to work on. And, being a mom, I just have to schedule better.
Okay. So, do you alter your creative decisions keeping in mind what your kids will watch sometime later that way?
No, not really. I have to focus on myself and what I want to do. Mm-hmm. And if I'm happy, I believe my children will be happy and will respect my decisions as an adult. They're too young to see any of the things that I've shot so far because it has violence. Mm-hmm. I made one mistake once. I showed a little bit of this trailer to my kids, and we have a no gun policy, not even like Pichkari guns, no toy guns, nothing. I try and focus on a very anti-violence, type of approach with the children, because they're very small. They shouldn't be playing with guns. They should know that guns are dangerous, and not all toys. Mm-hmm. So after I showed it to them, they kept saying, "But Mama, you're holding a gun. That's bad. That's violent, Mama. Why are you doing that? What are you doing?" I was like, "Arey yaar, I made a mistake." Because you feel proud and you want to share, and they're always asking, why do you have to go to work? What, not necessarily what I'm doing, but they're just curious of why I'm gone.
Mm-hmm. So, Sunny, frankly speaking, even though you give your all in the project, because we know how hardworking you are at times written off as a glam quotient or a glam figure in a film. So, over the years, now that you have proved your mettle, how challenging has it been for you to break that identity of yours and put yourself out there?
Well, in almost all the interviews and everything that I've done, I've never tried to break or change anything. I think it comes down to evolving as you get older or as time passes by or as you're in the industry for a certain amount of time, you evolve as a person. So a lot of the projects also that were coming my way, they also were evolving because maybe somebody else saw something in me or, Vikram sir saw something in me, which I'm always amazed at because his phone must have every single person's number in it, and you literally pick of the litter for a project like this. And I just believe you evolve as a person.
Mm-hmm. Sunny, despite all the stardom that you have achieved or deserved, I see you as a very grounded person. I mean, there are no such, tantrums that way. So, and as they say, people in this industry, when fame gets to them, it sort of messes them up. So, how have you been able to, draw that line?
Um, I think part of it comes down to being really thankful and grateful of every single day that I get to work and do what I love. And also I have a few amazing people around me going, what are you doing? Keep me in line or in check. But I have never believed in the approach of being mean or cruel to people, because you are going to see those same people all the time. People think that the Bollywood industry or the entertainment industry is something that is so big and there's so many people, but it's not that way. It's so small and everybody works with everybody, and they always remember if you were kind and if you were nice and if you had a problem, how did you handle it? So I think that's also something we need to keep in mind.
I was watching this kind of video of yours. I loved that piece, by the way. And you had mentioned how desperate media has been at times to, get a clickbait-worthy or a sensational headline out from you. So over the years, have you been cautious about what you speak that way?
Well, after that stand-up comedy show, I don't think I was careful in any way.
Okay.
The problem is that you never know what people's intentions are. And if their intentions are bad, and if their intentions are to write something that is untrue or sensationalized, then you really just can't do anything about it, whether you watch what you say or whether you don't watch what you say.
You have a very strong social media presence, and you have often said that Daniel and you are very strong-headed when it comes to dealing with trolls and, heading all that negativity come your way. Was there a point in life where you were really bogged down with it or affected?
There's just a couple of incidents where I think the digital world and social media got me down. But at the end of the day, you have to break down why that person would say something like that and understand that they're not just saying it about you, they're saying it about many people. Seeing where the line will, get stuck. It's like fishing to get attention. And, you have to get over it and move forward. I'm not bothered so much by trolls on social media, as people might know. It doesn't bother me. I've broken it down in such a scientific way of how all this happens and on a psychological level of what's going on with those types of people that it doesn't bother me.
So, back when you entered Bollywood, you went through a phase of trials and errors, and somewhere it did look challenging for you to get that acceptance from Bollywood the way your fans have accepted you. So, now you seem to be in a very relaxed space, in a good way. And 10 years down the line, what changed?
I think, like I said, you evolve as a person and you grow as a person. When we first came into India, both Daniel and I, and when I first started working, we didn't know anybody. We didn't have advice or help or any of these things. And that's okay because we're outsiders and we came into this world and, started working. The thing that worked for me the most was to just keep working and, just, say yes to certain projects, whether they did good, whether they did bad, it didn't matter. It's about if the audience is willing to watch, or if there's a curiosity there, or if people are willing to, give me that chance to work, then I was going to work. And that worked really, really well for myself.
So, being successful comes with its own share of rejections, ups and downs. So, how have you sailed through all these phases and kept your spirits high and got yourself back up?
Yeah, there are moments where you realize, all right, I'm never going to work with this type of person or that type of brand or so many different things, or shoot for that magazine, or, some of these things that happen with other artists. So what I believe in, and my office and my whole company and Daniel as well, is if it's not going to come to me, then we just go out and get it. And we take that step forward and we create a path of our own. And in that way, it's worked out in my favor so much, because I'm not hurt or bitter that these people don't want to work with me or a brand doesn't want to work with me. I'm happy because what they ended up doing is forcing me outside of my comfort zone and creating something of my own. And that's what we've done, and we're so proud of everything.
You know, in many of your interviews, you have talked about how Daniel and you are very sorted when it comes to managing your professional as well as personal commitments. So does that ever get overwhelming, being a working mother that way?
I think that I probably end up getting more frustrated than Daniel, because I want to see the kids and I miss them. And, when you want like pictures and videos all day long, what are they doing? Have they eaten? Are they okay? What's happening now? And it could just be that they're sitting on the couch and watching a movie. But
your happy ending, I remember.
So it just comes down to wanting to know where they are and what they do. I told you, I think I have more separation anxiety than my children do. They're very well-adjusted, socialized kids and enjoying, being 4 and 6.
So one piece of advice you'd like to give to your younger self, or to a 10-year, or, when you look back to yourself as a decade ago, what piece of advice would you like to give?
I think that the only advice that I would want to give to the younger generation is you have to work hard. You have to put in the time. You can't think that everything's going to happen overnight and you're just going to be a success in whatever that field is. You have to start at the bottom. You have to work your way up. It is extremely rare. I call it an exception to the rule. The exception to the rule is that you have to work. The exception to the rule is that one person who made it and shot up to the stars and is so successful overnight or a very short time. That's an exception to the rule. But for all the rest of us, we all have to work and you all have to put your time in and learn your craft. And something that I've noticed here in India is that if you are a good technician, if you are good at your job, you show up on time, you show professionalism and work ethic, it gets recognized. Maybe not in the beginning because everything is, you're still learning everything, but it does get recognized and people will love you for it.
True. So on a closing note, if I ask you, if you get a chance to change anything in the film industry for you, what would it be, or is there anything you would have done differently?
I don't think that I could say I would want to do something differently because I have believed in this all my life, that everything is a stepping stone to something better, bigger, and that is exactly what happens when, like I just said, you put in your time and you work hard. So I wouldn't necessarily want to change so much. If anything, maybe you could have a little more patience, although I do have a lot of patience.
Also, another thing I wanted to know, since you are also making this is also sort of an OTT debut after the Karanjit Scott story.
Yes.
So now with the films opening in full swing, the box offices are again ruling. So do you think the audience will